thing? I mean, did you know that anything about this when you read the script? Was it just a script you responded to?
I was in Los Angeles for pilot season here, and the script had been in development for a while, and they sent me through just the sides actually for an audition for a tape, and I responded really well to the sides, and I really liked it, and just went in for the meeting. It was like a real last minute thing. I was due to leave the day after, and I did leave the day after, and then I got a call back for a screen test, for a test here. So upon getting the call back for the test, obviously I read the book. I read 1 and 2 actually. Read 1 quite fully, and then 2 sort of just went through. And yeah, and then did the test and got the role, and that's how I came to be involved in the madness.
Once you found out there were a series of books and it could be a series of movies, I mean, did you ever have that moment of, oh God, what did I get myself into, or were you already kind of sold on it by then?
I suppose that I sort of focused on it as a one-by-one thing, until we're making movie 2, until we're making movie 3, we're not actually, we're not in production for them. So it's like, people ask, would you go through, the subsequent books whilst you were shooting number 1? And no is the answer, because yes, it's great to have those there, but at the time we're shooting movie 1, and I didn't want to really cloud my vision of what movie 1 and book 1 is about.
Was part of the appeal of this the fact that it's not another werewolf or vampire story? It's really its own world. It's a really layered mythology. Yeah,
I think the sort of adult nature of it, of the layered mythology is a perfect way to describe it, and also the honesty and the truth that lies in the love story as well between the two characters. Yes, obviously they go through some pretty messed up stuff, but with any great story and with any great movie, there's always an underlying love story there, and I think that's what really drew me to it.
When you started to see the fan reaction to you being cast in it, I mean, was it one of those things where was it difficult to kind of hear all these people upset about the casting, or does it sort of make you go, okay, I'm going to prove them all wrong?
No, it's deeply hurtful. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. It's deeply hurtful. But you have to, or one has to really pull yourself together and show people that actually this is what I do, and I'm an actor. That's who I am, and I can play this character, and I only hope that I can have proven that to people.
At the same time, at least it means they're passionate about actually caring about the movie. And
of course, yeah, it's better to have people that care about it than people that just go, meh, I don't care,
Did you get a say in the look of the character at all, and with the tattoos and the physicality of it? Did you get some input in how that worked? Absolutely,
100%. I worked very closely with Gersha Phillips, our costume designer. Gersha and I worked quite consistently on the look for Jason. Originally there was a lot of long coats and stuff, and I went, well, actually I think it needs to be a bit more bikery. I think we need to put a hood in here, and the hood was a big addition for me as well, because obviously that adds an element of mystery visually. With the physicality, yeah, absolutely. There was discussions as, do we make him huge? Do you make him really jockey? And actually, to be honest with you, I don't think that that's who he is. And also we've seen that. I'm so bored of seeing the big jock. It's not realistic at all, and not once. What's really funny is, not once in the movie do you ever see them sit down and eat a huge meal. They're out there, they're fighting all the time. That's what they do, and that in itself creates a certain physicality, and that's how I lived my life when we were working.
How extensive was the training for this? Because it definitely seems like, even in the trailer, that you have quite a bit of different types of things that you have to do in it.
Hugely, my training for the movie was vast. I trained for 4 months. I did martial arts. Everything that you see in the trailer I did. Everything that you see in the movie I did. There's only one thing with wire work in the film. We tried to use as little as possible, so I learned how to flip, I learned how to wield swords, learned how to wield staffs. And that was really fun, but it's physically quite draining. but in a good way. It's a challenge. I like a challenge.
When you do that kind of extensive training, do you feel confident about all of that going in, or does it still just, once you get on set, does it still just feel like something that's, does it become like some bigger...
For me, it's interesting. I never thought of myself as an action man, but apparently I can do it. So that's good to know. But then once I leave set, it sort of just goes away. I don't really feel like it's a skill set that I could use on a daily basis. I don't really wield swords with me or carry them with me all the time. So I don't know how beneficial it is in the long run.
Was there an action sequence that you most enjoyed getting to do, or something that you had to work with physically that you most enjoyed?
Yeah, there's a scene in what's called the Hotel de Mort, which is the scene where they fight a lot of vampires. The shadow hunters fight a whole load of vampires and train to learn how to flip onto a table and fight along a really thin bit of table, and yeah, all that. I loved all that. I enjoy all that kind of stuff.
Like to get to have Lily to go through this whole thing with. I mean, your characters are really, a very integral part of each other's storylines. Was it nice to have someone like her who was so enthusiastic about bringing this series to life? Yeah,
of course. She's been a huge advocate of the movie and of the script, and to have her around on set is a joy. She's got great vision as well, when it comes to the piece, and great ideas, and that was one of the main things that I loved about the process of making this movie. It was a real collaborative process between everyone, and we all put in ideas and we all put in our own thoughts, and some of which didn't get put into the movie, some of which did, and that's part of what a creative process is about, I suppose.
Yeah, it must be nice too to have a director who's open to that kind of thing, especially when you're doing a movie of this size, because they could very easily say, we can't take anybody's input.
Yeah, to have Harold there to be able to listen to us, to do that kind of thing is a real honor and a real blessing. Yeah, absolutely.
What does it like to have to go through the whole tattoo application process? I mean, I would imagine that had to have taken a while. Are there things that you do to sort of just zone out when you're going through that?
4 a.m, you pretty much zone out anyway. I have my own tattoos, so not only do I have to get my own tattoos covered up, but I have to get new ones put on. Maybe I should just get all the runes tattooed on me. That might make my life a bit easier.
Was it weird to see yourself with other tattoos when you're used to...
Yeah, but I want to be... If I wasn't an actor, I'd be heavily tattooed, I think. So it was nice to see myself with neck tattoos.
It's so interesting to me because I feel like it tells so much about a person, and I think it's so interesting when a character has them too, because I don't have any, but I've always been fascinated at other people's, because I feel like there's a story behind everyone.
Yeah, and it's not, and also with the runes and the way that they work, the way that they're etched onto the skin and they slowly heal and then they turn into tattoos. It's a great development process to see a new rune go on, and then how that slowly heals throughout a day-by-day process. It's quite fun.
Well, your character certainly has a very deadpan kind of humor. I mean, was it easy to find that tone? Is that sort of where you're on?
I'm English, so it's very easy to find that tone. Very easy to find that tone. Yeah, I love the deadpan humor, and that's something I sort of was constantly thinking about, throughout the process, and coming up to filming and during filming as well, and sort of finding out who he was. And yeah, we have the book there, but it's also nice for me to be able to put my own stamp on him.
Now that you've gotten to kind of live in this character for a bit, I mean, are you looking forward to future films, getting to play him again, getting to explore him a little bit more?
I'd love to, I mean, yeah, I think he's a great guy. I think he's troubled and conflicted, and he has his own demons, and I love that. I love that sort of little boy lost kind of vibe about him. There's a great line. It's something I don't want to be. I don't want to be a man. I want to be something like a petulant teenager or something like that. It's just it's perfect. It sort of sums him up, and I love that about him.
Do you typically like these kind of stories? I mean, is this the kind of thing you're attracted to? These stories with these big mythologies and big ideas and things like that, because it really does give you so much to explore.
There's a lot of scope. Yeah, I love. I do love mythology, and it's funny that that's sort of what I've sort of thrown myself into, I suppose. It just seems to be a bit. I like this surreal, the surreal element, but also with the like fundamentally grounding reality behind it. That's something that's always fascinated me. And people love to be taken away. People love to be taken into that world, and I love being in that world.
Yeah, and it's cool because you have the world to explore and the character to explore, so it never feels like there's any.
Not stilted.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, cool. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much. Cheers.